lesson with a two-part lesson. There was two questions, and we're going to go into more in depth on the understanding in regards of or the different approach in how we are going to be operating going forward in teaching the gospel. We just want to give praise to the Most High for the deacons of New Jersey who brought this out, and all the brothers there, Deacon Aaron, Deacon Tatsadak, and all the congregation there that kind of came up with this idea. And so we're going to give a hand for the Most High for that. Because, we need to mimic the first century church. We need to do exactly what Christ told his disciples. And do exactly how he does it and how he established it. Because there may be some hidden gems that we may not understand why he told us to do it this way and things of that nature. So we're going to go into more in depth in regards of the understanding why did Christ told his disciples to go 2 by 2, how to approach situations like that, and address the whole, I know Deacon Aaron addressed it last week briefly, but we're going to go into more depth in regards when it says do not go house to house, what he really meant with that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go into is Luke chapter 10, and then we're going to go in Matthew's chapter 10, which is, it deals with the same situation. Now, matter of fact, let's go to Luke chapter 9, because it deals with the 12. And then we're going to go into the whole understanding. Okay. And then we're going to get an understanding of the Sabbath, because there was a question asked in regards of what can be done and what cannot be done. Okay. So we're in Luke chapter 10. Matter of fact, let's start at Luke chapter 9.
Verse 1?
Yeah.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 1. Then he called his 12 disciples together and gave them power and authority over all devils and to cure diseases.
Okay, so this is the same story or the same understanding when you read Matthew's chapter 10, when he says, and these 12 he sent forth and told them, do not go into the way of the Gentiles, but go into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Every time you see a story of Christ in the 4 Gospels, always read all the precepts to get the full understanding of the story. Because it was a custom within our forefathers that we always put 2 or 3 witnesses. That's why the Gospels repeated. The Kings, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, because everything is dealing with witnesses and having 2 collaboration of the same story, and if they both match, is confirmed. Okay, let's read.
Verse 2. And he sent them to preach the kingdom of the Most High.
Come on.
And to heal the sick.
Come on.
And he said unto them, take nothing for your journey, neither staves, nor scrip, neither bread, neither money, neither have 2 coats apiece.
Keep reading.
Verse 4. And whatsoever house ye enter into, there abide, and thence depart.
In whatever house you enter, they abide, and then depart. Right? Let's read.
Verse 5. And whosoever will not receive you, when you go out of that city, shake off the very dust from your feet for a testimony against them.
But when whoever does not receive you within that city, shake the dust of your feet, right? I want you to pick, because you got to get the full picture. You will never get the full picture on only just one witness, right? So I just want you to stay in mind, because he left certain things out that is in Matthew's 10. Read.
And they departed and went through the towns, preaching the gospel and healing everywhere.
Come on.
Now Herod the Tetrarch, head of all that was done by him, and he was perplexed, because that it was said of some that John was risen from the dead.
Okay, now, Herod, you all know, is the Edomite king that was over Israel at that time. Okay, and he heard about this. Read.
Verse 8. And of some that Elias or Elijah had appeared, and of others that one of the old prophets was risen again.
Okay.
And Herod said, John have I beheaded, but who is this of whom I hear such things?
Okay.
And he desired to see him.
Come on.
And the apostles, when they were returned, told him all that they had done. And he took them and went aside privately into a desert place,
Okay.
belonging to the city called Bethsaida.
Come on.
And the people, when they knew it, followed him, and he received them, and spake unto them of the kingdom of the Most High,
Come on.
and healed them that he had need of healing. And when the day began to wear away, then came the 12 and said unto him, Send the multitude away, that they may go into the towns and country round about, and lodge, and get victuals, for we are here in a desert place.
Come on.
But he said unto them, Give ye them to eat. And they said, We have no more but 5 loaves and 2 fishes.
Okay, so we're setting the stage here. He sent first the 12. Prepared the 12. These were the leaders of the church, the head. So he first sent the 12. The 12 got experience in how to deal teaching the gospels and dealing with the Holy Spirit, right? So then you go into, when you keep reading, it talks about the 5, I think this is the story of the 5 loaves, I believe. Okay, so we all understand. I just want to kind of get an in-depth understanding how Christ operated, right? Then after the loaf, let's go to chapter 10, because now this is dealing with the 70, right? How many times 70 goes into 12? It goes in equally? Or 72?
74.
74?
72, yeah.
72. 70 goes in equally? Somebody? No? Yeah?
It's 6 times.
So 12 goes into 76 times?
72.
72. Okay. I just went because I'm looking into something. All right. Let's read.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 1. After these things, the Most High, or the Lord, appointed other 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face.
So first he sent the 12. They came back, and they told them, wow, this is what happened. And I think when you go into, we're going to go into what they reported in Christ. Even demons are subject to us, right? With your name, right? And then there was another story that goes into it, but there was one demon we couldn't subdued. Right. Well, this particular demon takes fasting and much prayer and things of that nature, right? So these first send the 12, right? Now he's sending the 70. Now remember, he said he's in a secret place, right? And he's training them how to become apostles. And he first established the 12. And then after that, he established the 70, right? And he sent them 2 by 2. Read.
And sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place whither he himself would come.
Where he himself would come. Read.
Therefore said he unto them.
This is what he told them. This is the instruction, right? Read.
The harvest truly is great.
Okay, you are a field, so you have to cover a lot of ground. Read.
But the laborers are few.
Come on.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he would send forth laborers into his harvest.
Come on.
Go your ways. Behold, I send you forth as lambs among wolves.
Now this is, understand it's connected to King Herod. Because now it became a situation that King Herod was feeling threatened by this new religion, if you want to call it that. This new sect of Judaism that is threatening his authority. Read.
Verse 4. Carry neither purse nor scrip, nor shoes, and salute no man by the way.
Now, I wonder why was he saying this? Why he said, salute no man by the way. Okay, we're going to go into that. And take no purse and no extra stuff. We're going to go into that, what he really meant by that. Read.
Verse 5. And into whatsoever house ye enter, first say, Shalom be to this house.
So what's the first thing you have to do when you go to a house? Shalom, peace, be to this house. Right? Read.
And if the Son of Peace be there.
If the Son of Peace be there, which is Christ, his spirit is there. Read.
Your peace shall rest upon it.
Your reach will say, you will stay there. Read.
If not,
it
shall return to you again.
You got to go back. You got to back away. So if you don't feel the spirit is going the right direction of Christ, okay, you take care, sir. All right? We're gonna, and it's the reason why for that. We're gonna go into more depth during that time, and how eventually at this time we could mirror ourselves from the first century church. Read.
Verse 7. And in the same house remain.
But in the same house that you received the peace and it came back to you, could stay there. You could remain there. Read.
Eating and drinking.
Whatever eating and drinking, whatever they give you, take. Read.
Such things as they give. For the laborer is worthy of his hire.
So that's how you support yourself. Now, when you go into the old country, and many of those that from down south and maybe from the Caribbeans, if you go to somebody's house, what is the custom? You got to feed them. It's almost an insult. So that's what you consider an African or Middle Eastern culture. That you go somebody else, they gotta welcome you in. They gotta lodge strangers. It's a custom if they don't offer you some food. So you could go and traditionally, let's say you went in the 40s or in the 30s and 20s, and you went down south, and you're preaching the gospel or something, or you are a door-to-door salesman. And hey, lady, miss, how we doing? Good morning. I'm selling whatever. Oh, come in. Want some coffee? Want some this? It's part of their custom. Okay, so he was using the custom of the day and how you be able to support yourself. Okay, and continue your journey. That's why I said don't take extra stuff, and don't say shalom. Don't salute anybody. We're gonna go into that why he said that. Read.
Go not from house to house.
But then it goes, but go not house to house. In my Bible, do you notice after, what verse you in?
Verse 7.
Verse 7, right? After verse, I'm in the wrong chapter, my bad. Okay, here we go. After 7, right? It says, the labor is worthy of his hire, dot. Do you guys notice that? Do you have that in your Bible? Dot. And then go is capital. That means what? It's a new sentence. It's a different subject. So really this should have been starting at chapter 8. Because it's a different subject now. So now what Christ is telling his disciples is how not to do it. Do not go house to house if they haven't received you. If the Son of Peace is not there. You cannot go house to house and do what? Read.
And into whatsoever city ye enter, and they receive you, eat such things as are set before you.
Read.
And heal the sick that are therein.
So this is saying do not go house to house and do this. Eating such things they give you. And healing the sick. It's a time. You got that scripture, brother? You found it? Okay. Give me the chapter and verse. Matthew 9:27. Let's go there real quick. Because when someone gets cured by Christ, was getting cured by the Most High, it was the Christ's faith or that person's faith that healed them. Their faith that healed them. Right? So if the Son of Peace is not in that room, is not in that city or in that house, and they don't receive you, and you praying for them, they don't believe how they could be healed. So that's why let's go into the scripture. You got it?
Come.
Let's go there real quick.
It's the book of Matthew chapter 9 verse 27.
Come on.
And when Yeshua departed thence, 2 blind men followed him,
come on,
crying and saying, Thou son of David,
come on,
have mercy on us. And when he was come into the house,
come on,
the blind men came to him, and Yeshua saith unto them,
come on,
believe ye that I am able to do this?
Do you believe I'm able to do this? Before he healed them. Do you believe that I'm able to do this? Read.
They said unto him, Yea, Lord.
Yea. Yes. Read.
Then touched he their eyes,
come on,
saying,
come on,
according to your faith.
A what?
According to your faith.
On your what?
According to your faith.
Read.
Be it unto you. And their eyes were opened.
Come on.
And Yeshua straightly charged them, saying, See that no man know it.
Okay. So you understand? So meaning is through, that's when there's another scripture says that your faith has healed you.
Con.
So Christ was not healing people that didn't believe. Christ was healing people that understood he was the Messiah. They understood he was the long-awaited Messiah. And that's why when Christ spoke to the Samaritan woman, oh woman, great faith, right? Your faith has healed you. Go your way, your daughter is whole. What's the soldier? The
centurion.
The centurion. Lord, only say the word, and I know if you say it so, my servant will be healed. And he turns around and says, I have not seen faith or in Israel. Right? So with the understanding, he was just not telling the disciples, just go throughout anybody, just heal them. You're healed, you're good. He was not doing that. See, the people were coming to Christ, telling Christ, please heal us. Please, because we believe. You understand? So he was telling them, don't go to any house, going house to house, eating, drinking, and healing the people if first they don't receive you. They have to first believe the gospel. Right? Go out throughout the whole world, teach the gospel. Though they what? Believe, baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So the first concept, they have to believe. And then all the miracles in the Spirit will come, right? All right, so let's keep reading. So understand start at verse 7 it says, go not.
Back in Luke.
Yeah.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 7. Go not from house to house.
Do not do this. So everything he's about to say, do not go house to house doing this. Read.
And into whatsoever city ye enter.
Read.
And they receive you. Eat such things as are set before you.
So don't eat such things as are set before you. Read.
And heal the sick.
And don't heal the sick. Don't be doing this. Read.
That are therein.
Come on.
And say unto them.
And say unto them.
The kingdom of the Most High is come nigh unto you.
Come on.
But into whatsoever city.
But into whatever city. You see that? So don't just go openly and just start preaching openly. You got to first go to house and see if the Son of Peace is there first. There's a reason why he was doing this. We're going to go into that. We're going to go into it more in depth. It's almost as go undercover. Don't be open about the gospel. There's a reason for this. Right? We're going to get into this. Right? Read.
Verse 10. But into whatsoever city ye enter.
But into what other city you enter, this is how you got to operate. So you get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the translation is a little difficult, but it says, do not go house to house and heal the sick and eat whatever they offer you and things of that nature. Do not do that. The first thing you have to do is see, you have to test the person. We're going to go into that. Read.
And they receive you not.
If they don't receive you, read.
Go your ways out into the streets of the same, and say, even the very dust of your city which cleaveth on us, we do wipe off against you.
So don't just go openly into the house or into the city and start preaching the word and healing the sick. Don't do that openly. Don't do that right away. First you have to go, and we're going to go into more in-depth understanding. Okay, so keep reading.
Notwithstanding, be ye sure of this, that the kingdom of the Most High is come nigh unto you.
Read.
But I say unto you, that it shall be more tolerable in that day for Sodom than for that city.
Read.
Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Woe unto thee, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works have been done in Tyre and Sidon, which have been done in you, they had a great while ago repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes.
Okay, so let's go to Matthew 10. So we as a body, since we engage in this type of ministry now, we have to get the full understanding in its totality. Okay, so let's go to Matthew 10, verse 1. So this is the same story or the same instruction that he gave to the 12. Remember, he first sent the 12, then he sent the 70. he gave the same instruction to the 12 as he gave to the 70, because the 12 was the pillars. So he first had to send the apostles. So I could imagine he was probably training the apostles, and then he told the apostles, okay, train the 70. Things of that nature, right? Let's read it.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 1. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits.
See that? Read.
To cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness.
Come on.
And all manner of disease.
Come on.
Now the names of the 12 apostles are these. The first, Simon, who was called Peter.
So remember, this is in Luke. Now we know he went to in the Luke, it gives you the geographical location, a secret place. And I think he's mentioned some cities, so we kind of have an idea where he went. He was not teaching them openly. He went to a secret place and trained them. Right? Read. And gave them power. Read.
And Andrew, his brother.
Uh-huh.
James, the son of Zebedee.
Come on.
And John, his brother.
Come on.
Philip and Bartholomew.
Come on.
Thomas and Matthew, the publican.
Come on.
James, the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus.
Come on.
Simon the Canaanite. And
Now the word Simon the Canaanite, when you go into the translation there, it means, give me the translation there. It means someone who is, the Zealots were typecast as Canaanites, because the Canaanites were very very wild people about their ways. So, but in the translation, you get a better understanding. You got the, go ahead. And that's Simon Peter, right? Read.
This is the Greek word for Canaanite. It's Greek 2581, and the word is kanates. The word, it means zealous.
Zealous.
Canaanite.
Canaanite. So it was a word that means, that's where the word zealot comes from. So Canaanite and zealot is the same word. It's just, because remember the Greek is a child of Hebrew. It's the same. It was translated by Hebrew. Matter of fact, I'm trying to, and I've been so busy with a brother in California who is a Kemetic brother, and he testified today. He done research that Greek is a Hebrew dialect. It comes from the Hebrew dialects. The Phoenicians were Danites. These were all Hebraic people. Okay, so it has the same principle. So you are called by an action that you are. You get what I'm saying? So Simon the Zealot, that was his title, because he was zealous about, that's why he always wanted to defend Christ, and always he was the guy that chopped the guy's ear. He was a soldier. He was a more militant type of guy, right? So that's what it means, right? Okay, let's read.
And Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him.
Come on. So that means he was not a Canaanite, but because this is the same Simon Peter. This is he was a Jew, right? Let's read.
These 12 Yeshua sent forth.
Read.
And commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
And that's extra proof, because why would he tell Gentiles, don't go into the way of Gentiles? Except you
Right.
can. You can. No. Right. These were all Israelites, because he said, do not go into the way of the Gentiles. And a deeper understanding of this still applies today, in the sense that your focus should be the tribes of Israel. Do not go where the majority of people will be Gentiles. You have to go first to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Because remember when Christ, the story of John 4, when he said it was need for him to go to the land of Samaria. He had to go travel that way. Remember that? And then he met the woman in the well, and he preached to her. Now, if he told the disciples in Matthew 10, do not go into the way of the Gentiles, but then he had to go through Samaria, the same city. He said, enter ye not. He had to go through that, and he met a woman, and we all know the story. You know not what you teach, but we salvation of the Jews, right? A better understanding of this is more, do not focus on the Gentiles. Don't focus on the Gentiles. Focus onto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You get what I'm saying? Okay. All right. And the reason why he pointed out the Samaritans, because he had to point out, oh yeah, by the way, also the converts who are acting like the children of Israel, who are making believe they're the children of Israel. He pointed that out because he knows the history. These were also Gentiles. You understand? That's why he also pointed out. All right, so let's read.
Middle of verse 5. Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Read.
Heal the sick,
Heal the sick.
cleanse the lepers.
But we understand in context to your precept, you get understanding. He was not telling them just do this openly. He was giving direction, and we keep reading. It tells you that, right? Read.
Raise the dead,
Raise the dead. Read.
cast out devils.
Come on.
Freely ye have received,
Come on.
freely give.
Come on.
Provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your purses,
Come on.
nor scrip for your journey.
Now the freely is talking about those that are worthy. It's going to go into that. It's going to go in. So he's generally speaking what you need to do, but when you keep reading the story, it gives you a more in-depth understanding how to do it. Right? Let's read it.
Neither two coats, neither shoes,
Come on.
nor yet staffs.
Come on.
For the workman is worthy of his meat.
You're going to get paid. You're going to be taken care of because the work itself is going to take care of you. That's what he was saying. Read.
And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy.
You see that? The first, so he's going to give you the instruction. He gave you a synopsis what you need to do, but now he's going into more details. Now, when you go to physically a city, the first thing you have to know is who's worthy. You know, in most Middle Eastern and African culture, you have what? The town village chief. You go into that village and say, who's in charge here? Who's the man? Who's the person in charge here? Oh, so and so. Okay, you go to him. You give him respect. Okay, or there may be a herd because in some culture you have matriarchs. You have women that are the head of the village or what have you. Right? Read.
And there abide till ye go thence.
Come on.
And when ye come into an house,
Now keep reading.
salute it.
Salute it.
And if the house be worthy,
If the house be worthy, if the Son of Peace be there, if the Spirit of Christ be there, read.
let your peace come upon it.
The same thing. You see that? Read.
But if it be not worthy,
If it's not worthy, read.
let your peace return to you.
Back away. Now, the freely giving and freely receiving is talking about those that are worthy. You get what I'm saying? So you're not opening, just healing people. Free gifts. No, it's talking about those that are worthy. Right? Read.
And whosoever shall not receive you,
If they don't receive, whosoever should not receive you, read.
nor hear your words,
Don't hear your words, read.
when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet.
You see that? So not going house to house is meaning do not go house to house until you first do these things that I need you to do. First check out who's in charge. First see see first who's worthy of this gift. If they, and things of that nature. See, or what, see, check out the spirit. And it's going to tell you why he told them to do that. Read.
Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city.
Read.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves.
Why was he saying that? You got to analyze the political tension of the day. Right? They already commanded the apostles. And when you hear the story, when there was an issue, at this time this was concerned, the Sanhedrin was already meeting about Christ. And they were already plotting to what? To kill him. We read that I think in the book of John or Luke. Right? So he said, be careful. And after his death and resurrection, they actually made a decree that they were not allowed to go preach under the name of Christ. So he said, listen, be careful because I'm going to send you sheep among wolves, right? Read.
But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils.
Beware of men. That's the reason why you got to walk in with cautions, because you may have a spy. That's why Christ, the disciples said, they may creep. They creep unawares. They came from us, but there are enough of us. You understand what I'm saying? So they were you could see here that in the first century church, the Christian church was undercover. They were not open. They were not on the corner street preaching. They were more dealing with house to house ministry. Shh. Know them that live among you. Now the reason why we have to go into this, because right now we got freedom of speech and freedom of religion, but we all know the political establishments, the political waves is happening. This may be illegal. We may be house to house. We may be that the government will set forth a doctrinal understanding and things of that nature in regards of what you should teach and what you cannot teach. So we may go back to this, right? Let's read it.
But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils.
Beware of men. That's why you got to first check and see, say shalom, see if they accept you. If they're coming in, well, who are you? What's going on here? Just take care, sir. They may be a spy. So you got to look at it from a spiritual perspective, but also from a practical perspective. Now, they had the Holy Spirit, so they could discern spirits. Okay, this guy, nah. He's just a hedron. We out of here.
Huh.
You understand? Read.
And they will scourge you in their synagogues.
And they will what?
Scourge you in their
Now,
synagogues.
and Deacon Iron brought it up next week. The word council there, when you go into the Greek, is similar or is
Synedron.
Synedron means Sahedron. Synedron. It goes back to the same word, okay? Which means that's where you get the word Sahedron from. Synedron, the council. You understand? And it's funny because when you go into the word Sanhedrin, it means council.
Right.
It's Greek origin.
Right. It's not
So
Hebraic.
it's the same thing. It's not Hebraic origin, right? Read.
Verse 18. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake,
Come on.
for a testimony against them
Come on.
and the Gentiles.
Come on.
But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak.
Come on.
For it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak.
Come on.
For it is not ye that speak,
Come on.
but the Spirit of your Father.
Now remember, he's speaking to the 12 disciples. The first literal gospel being taught. So Christ was the teacher, right? When he was on earth, he was establishing his church. He first sent the 12, gave them the Holy Spirit to kind of guide them, because they were rookies. They didn't know. These people were fishermen. They were in things of that nature. You understand? So it was through the Spirit of the Holy Spirit coming upon them to teach, and things like that. So he was giving them advice on what to look out for, right? Then after that, he sent the 70, and after that, it's too for so on. Right? Read.
But the Spirit of your Father, which speaketh in you.
Right. So if you look at, you got the 70, right? Then you got the 12 disciples. Then you go into Acts, the first chapter. I think it was 120, right? So if you calculate 70 men, and you put wives and children, it will go up to 170. So it could have been just these 70 men. You understand? They were part of the first Christian church, the followers of Christ. And then they came together on the feast day, and they invited their grandma and their wife and their kids, and went up to 120. So it probably was that small group all through the life of Christ. And then when the Holy Spirit came upon the church, and they came to teach, it began to grow. 3,000 got baptized in one day and things of that nature. So you could see that the gospel was very small. It was a small group. 120 people, more people, we probably got close to 120 people here. That's like a feast day. Matter of fact, we get more than a feast day. To show you that during the time of Christ, it was an insignificant group, historically. So that's why people go into, well, there's no proof that Christ existed and yada yada. Well, there is, first of all. But why was he... why is not more records of him when he was alive? He was only a group of 120 in some insignificant land of Israel. Rome had other problems. They're not going to be talking about, he was probably of the many groups that were out there at that time. But that was the truth. You understand? So the church really became to prospered after his life and resurrection.
Plus, a large part of Christ's life, he did a good job hiding.
Right,
And
exactly.
he was always
a lot
covert,
exactly.
so-
He wasn't open. So a lot of his work was really manifest after his life. That's when it began to be revealed. But in the beginning, they were all undercover. That's why they went to a secret place. That's why when he said, "Do not go into any man and salute." Like I remember back in the days when I went to the elders, with all the respect to the old school. I said, "What does it mean? You not salute a man?" Well, you're not supposed to salute a man out in the street because he only salute your brother. That's not what exactly this is talking about. He was more talking about, and this is funny because within like Secret Service or what really CIA and spies, manual and things of that nature. They train that if you go to a city, be unnoticeable. Don't dress anything that's going to be outlandish. You're going to be bright colors. Don't look at anybody in the eye. Just walk and be normal. Don't try to make, and they said don't even say good morning to anybody. Just keep walking forward. You understand? So what was he telling them? Do not salute anybody, because he wanted them to be like undercover. Just go into the city, find out who's in charge, fill them out. If they're not coming with the right spirit, walk away. If they come with the right spirit, then teach the gospel. So they could probably hit a city and don't even be noticed. Right. And maybe get 2 or 3 people that will follow them. So they will probably just, hey, what happened to John? What happened to Henry? I don't know. He broke out. There was a group talking to him yesterday. It was probably the only people they knew was the one they knew. They were really teaching out there. They were just, face-to-face interaction. So we have to start training ourselves doing it now. And that's how we're going to be teaching the gospel going forward. So we're going to be having training menus, and we're going to be using the brothers and the sisters. Because sometimes it will be a good thing to maybe have a female there to not come across as threat. And we're not going to have the brothers with the meat treat and shalom, who's in there, the beard. You're going to go in with the tie. You're not going to 20 dudes in the back. Open the door. This Israelites. Teacher Christ. You know who you are in the Bible? We're not gonna go with that approach. So we're gonna use the same spirit of the advice of Christ. What was the spirit? Be under the radar. That was his thing. Be harmless as dove. So so we gotta use wisdom. So we're gonna go with a nice tie, nice briefcase. If there's a woman opens the door, maybe the sister would take lead on that conversation, to get in the house. So what you want to do, the altar, you want to be sitting down, talking, peaceful. So what you guys all about? You got Jehovah's Witnesses? No, not exactly. No, we're not. We're from the Gathering Christ Church. You understand? That's the situation that you want to be. So we're gonna be doing training menu and things of that nature, because it's required. We're gonna have a situation that each. That's what we have. We put a list of the men last week and things of that nature. And if you was not here last week and you are not assigned a deacon, I got 4 deacons. Iron Wasap, Nehemiah, Shamar, and Kazak. Kazak is under the weather today, so you couldn't make it. So if you're in Brooklyn, you're under Shamar and Kazak. Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, you're under Shamar and Kazak. If you're in the Bronx, in Manhattan, you're under Nehemiah and Iron Wasap. So in all Westchester, okay? And if you're in New Jersey, you're under Deacon Aaron and Tazadak. Okay, so make sure you give them your number, because we're going to be doing training manual. And it's a requirement. If you're a member, you are required to do it, to teach the gospel. It is a commandment of Christ. So this is not a thing of GOCC. What scripture is that? Well, we're going to give you the scripture. We're just reading it right now. Go out to the whole world, teach the gospel. Right? We're just doing the administration portion of it, but that's a commandment. So we're going to go into understanding that it's going to be your due services is going to be much more than coming to Shabbat. You have to dedicate at least 4 hours a week. I think at Jehovah's Witnesses, I think they got I think it's like 100 hours or something like that before they get baptized. There's all kinds of, we're not even asking that. Just give me 2, 3, 4 hours a week. And these do go house to house, and then, we have a system how we're going to be operating going forward, okay?
And Elder, real
yes.
quick, it's profound how the directives that Christ was given, because it make it so that everybody gets a warning.
Right.
Because you got to say shalom to everybody, but
right.
let the Spirit discern whether or not. This way, when they get brought before a judgment, that'll be brought back to them. And they
right.
say, well, I never got warned. Remember those brothers that came to you
exactly.
and said shalom and you pushed them away?
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and going back to what we were reading earlier, you have to, it doesn't mean you could not say good morning to somebody you walk in, of course. Christ was talking about, because that was the tension of the time. You understand? But there may be a time that they are looking out for Israelites. We may be typecast as terrorists or something like that. So it will probably, at that time, maybe this will apply. Don't say shalom. Don't salute just everybody because you get, above the radar.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's the spirit of Christ's advice. It's not, don't say, okay, this is a law. You got to read certain things in its proper context. Okay? What did Christ was saying? Just keep reading.
Con. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 20. I'll start back at verse 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you.
Okay, read.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death.
Come on.
And the father the child. And the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
Read.
And ye
See, it was tension. Yeah, Sanhedrin, I think my son is involved with this crazy cult called the, what Christ, what they were calling the Nazarenes.
Nazarenes.
The Nazarenes. Where you seen them? Well, I saw them over there. So they will bring you up and and put you to death, right? Read that again.
Verse 21. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
So this was happening back then. He was warning them that this will happen if you don't follow my instructions. Remember, there's one more woe. So it's going to be escalated that we have to take these advice because we may have to we got to teach the gospel because that's a commandment. So we have to then use all these advice and principles on how to apply that and things of that nature. So right now we're cool. We could go out and teach the gospel and things of that nature. The worst that could probably, happen and things of that nature is, they may, a door gets shut. They may call security or what have you. You may get kicked out of a building, right? Okay, no problem. So we just want to give out flyers. No, you can't do that. Okay, no problem. The house, it's not worthy and things like that. And we're going to have a system how to operate in things of that nature, right? Let's keep reading.
Verse 22.
And not only that, we're going to also have a system that is not only in, house to house, but we're going to go to parks. Okay, brother, you go this way, I go that way, or two. And then you cover the whole park. You speak to people. Get a pamphlet. Can I get your number real quick, brother? The flyers want to follow up with this conversation. Maybe we could come to your house. Okay, no problem. How many numbers you got? I got 3. I got 4. That goes back into the what? Your talents when you send out to the world. You understand? And it goes back into what did Christ told the wicked servant. They didn't do nothing with his talent. So we have to look at that as this is a commandment. This is not if we have the time, elder. It's part of your due diligence, as thus says the Lord, not GOCC. Okay, read.
Verse 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake.
Come on.
But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
Now, understand that he was talking to us, but also back then. So, because to show you that Christ was a controversial issue. That's why he told them, go to the house, see who's worthy. If they're not feeling you, back up. Because they're going to hate you because of me. And things that, you understand what I'm saying? And it wasn't necessarily the people, but it was the propaganda that was coming from the Sanhedrin. Because Deacon Amos brought that up. There was really the people behind the killing of Christ. It was really more the leadership. It was not necessarily the people. But with every society, the people are governed by the leaders. And the leaders bring forth the vibration of the political stand of the day. This guy is good, this guy is not good. We're doing this, beware of this. We're hearing a group that's running around. The Sanhedrin are doing that. Now, when you're speaking to someone, that's why it was probably a situation that they were probably going to house, and then the people was like, isn't you that group, that crazy group they're looking to? No, that we're not them. And they probably win them over. You get what I'm saying? Because probably at that time they were bringing forth witness of Christ. And when you go into other records and things of that nature, they were reporting like when they went to the Sanhedrin, they were, I think the story of the gospel of Nicodemus, and he had to vouch for Christ because they was like, oh, he's the mother of a whore. and all that, and it's, and things of that nature. And he has to know that's Joseph, his father. I was there when they consummated the marriage. I was there in the wedding when they got betrothed. So they were bringing all kinds of false witness against Christ, because you figure if he cannot be the Messiah if he came out of he was conceived out of fornication. You get what I'm saying? So you can see how the Sanhedrin could have destroyed the whole organization by just bringing out false accusation from the leadership. And that happens today. You Google GOCC exposed. You'll see all kinds of, look at Elder Ricard. I think he's shift-shifting. Look at his eyes. And they put it real slow. Look at his hands. That's an Illuminati symbol.
Yeah, even when we was doing the debate stuff, when we
did too. We did with the
like, look at the one you're shopping Gabar at 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, we done with that too now. Well, we're doing the right work. Yeah. We praise the Most High. So you notice they always attack the leadership, and by attacking the leadership, it by automatically, when you are receiving the people, or the people are receiving you, about to receive you, and the eldership has a bad reputation, whatever, or there's a negative thing out there about the leadership, they're gonna first thing say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but isn't you with that guy? Isn't you with that guy? Right. So it's very important for us to protect the integrity of this church and the integrity of the leadership, because that's how Satan always has attacked. They attack Christ. Try to bring forward what I heard he was conceived by fornication. That alone, but the Sanhedrin bringing that rumor out in the field, in the street, that tarnished, or they was trying to tarnish the whole work of the disciples. You get what I'm saying? So we got to be very careful when you deal with YouTube, because now it's easier to bring forth a video. And usually when you see these videos, the actual person is not even in front of the camera. You only hear their voice, or they'll put like just words and letters, and deep, music, dun dun dun, Elder Ricard. And people like, people be like, dude, I could do that. Download some music, catch me mid-section, and so that's why I was like, I gotta be careful with my hands, because I could start, they could start Gabar, 6'6", see his hand.
That's why I say abstain from the appearance of evil.
Exactly. Put my hand right here, it's not moving. Okay. All right. So let's read it.
This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 23. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another.
Okay. Get out of here. We're not accepting you, Christians. You Nazarenes. All right. No problem. Right? Get out of there. But now it's even more difficult, because back then they didn't have any phones. The Sanhedrin were here. I mean, the Christians were here. Now they could call security. They could call 911. They could call a hotline, a government hotline, specifically just for that. You understand? So it may go back to that. You understand? Read.
For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come.
Read.
The disciple is not above his master.
Come on.
Nor the servant above his Lord.
So he was telling him, go through all Israel, all the cities. So he was speaking to them and us as well. So now we had to go to all the cities where Israel is at. Right? Read.
The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord.
Come on.
It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord.
Come on.
If they call the master of the house of Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of this house, of his household?
Come on.
Fear them not therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known.
Come on.
What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in the light.
He went to a secret place. What I tell you in darkness, showing you they were undercover. Mm-hmm. And when he was sending them out 2 by 2, what's the knowledge, or what's the sign behind 2 by 2? You're not noticeable. Don't go out in the corner of the street 70 strong preaching. Go 2 by 2. And we're going to also change the approach in how we preach as well. We're going to go into it. Andrea, I saw your hand up. Right. Right. Exactly. Go out. Exactly. That means literally, right. And that also goes to show you we got to also look into that too, because we should only be teaching the gospel during the day. There could be, spiritual and that. I'm looking into that too. That we should not supposed to be at 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday night where everybody's all about this pottery. Because I remember when I used to be in the old church, I used to be in Washington Heights. We used to be there at 2 o'clock in the morning, preaching Friday night. The Holy Ghost. Right. Nobody's listening to it. And everybody's in the mindset of what? Having a good time, party, drunkenness, and things of that nature. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the spirit is out there too. During the daytime is out in the open. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of spirituality, a lot of and how we operate, we have to deal with that too. Now, keep reading.
What I tell you in darkness.
Oh, and I want to also add, in the way we preach, this is how we're going to be operating going forward. Okay, so you have the preacher and the reader, right? And then you have whatever dude shows up, right? Brothers show up, 70, 80, whatever, not that much these days, but whatever shows up, right, show up. You may have 10 extra brothers show up. What we're going to be doing is, we have the reader, we have the speaker and the reader. And we may have an extra 12 brothers and things of that nature. 2 will stay with the reader just for security purposes, just to make sure everything is kosher. And then the other 10 will go 2 by 2 in each corner to hand out flyers. Because what we're noticing is that sometimes you may have the speaker, and there may be a brother down the street just listening for like 2 hours. So, but he may be too afraid to go up to us. So the brothers are not going to be listening to the speaker. They're going to be looking out for souls. Oh, look at that sister. I think she's going to give us a flyer. Hey, sister, you got any questions? Yeah, because they may be too intimidated to go to the speaker. So the speaker will be used as what? As a bait, as an intention. A mic. When you hear mic, somebody speaking, they might they might stop for a while. They're not going to go all the way across the street and ask the question because that'd be too intimidating, right? They may, and we're going to also have the sisters out there. There may be a sister. Shalom, sister, how we doing? You have any questions? Yeah, this and that. Okay, let me get one of the deacons that could help you out. Matter of fact, that's a great question. Let me get your email because we do also home ministry and things of that nature. And that's how we're going to be operating, more in the spirit of love in Christ, right? So that's how we're going to operate, because sometimes when the brothers are just standing there, they just be dormant. They just wait for them to read or speak. So we could utilize those extra brothers and things of that nature just to get some attention, and all the other brothers just walking. And as far the noise could go, that's where they will go. Because even if somebody who's buying donuts or selling donuts or whatever in the corner, hey, my friend, let me give you the flyer. Yeah, we're with them. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's I hear what you guys all about. Boom. Now, if we use that approach, we're covering greater ground, because now we get the brothers are covering as far as the street preacher. You know what I'm saying? Now the street preacher could deal with the media people, because 9 times out of 10, the people that come up to us, they're looking just to argue. They just looking to just say the point and break right. But the people that are listening are far off. Those are the brothers you can really capture. Those are the people you really capture because they're interested in things of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? But you may have some of the people just standing there listening. That's good. You could use those too, but we could expand that ministry. Okay. Also with parks, going to different fairs and things of that nature. Okay, you covered the east, west, south, north, 2 by 2. Covered that ground. And at the end of the park, you spoke to every soul, at least once. had to fly, and things of that nature. So we're going to be doing that, and it's going to be a requirement everywhere. That's what we're going to have. We got the list. We're going to get the men in order. We're going to have to start the training, and we got to also have the sister assisting with that as well. And since together, you guys could get involved with different things, like different workshop. Mother against vaccination. I think we should deal with that type of situation. We get a teacher. There'll be a way to a conversation. Different fairs that goes on. Put a table. You just have a conversation. With women groups and different affairs dealing with sisters. So you guys also will be required to do things like that. And not only to be required to look, not only to do it, but look for things that you can do. Because there's a lot of organizations out there you guys can get involved with that you could also teach the gospel. Okay? All right, just keep reading.
Verse 27. What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light.
Come on.
And what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops.
See? So he was, now the housetop, he was talking with the understanding you got to go into whatever city is worthy. So let's just say you go to a town village or a town mayor or what have you, and he's interested, right? Now, as you know, when any organization or any village or town or what have you, the person in charge is very influential. So if he will say, or she will say, hear these men, the village would respect the elder of that village. They would give you ear because the elder gave you ear. That's why when you got most, like I have learned in certain aspects, people will come up to me and say, hey, Shalom, elder, things of that nature, and they'll come up with a business opportunity or things of that nature. And I was thinking maybe, perhaps I could say some few words about this situation because they know if I give them the go, if I say, hey, brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so is looking to, do this, that, and the other, people are going to respect them because of me, because I gave them the green light. You get what I'm saying? So I have to even protect myself from people who just come up with different ideas. Not to say they're that bad, but, there's certain process to do to make sure we trust them, make sure that people are good in good standards, right? But same concept. That's why I said go into the, when you go to whatever house you see or whatever town you go in or city, see who's worthy. Right? Read.
Verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul.
Now, the them is talking about the Sanhedrin. Because remember, they will present you to many kings, and they were in the synagogue, and they will scorn you. And brother would send, betray brother, or they would get the scripture. I don't want to box it up. Go to
verse 21.
21.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death.
See that? Read.
And the father the child.
Come on.
And the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
You see that? That's what Christ says, that your greatest foes be what? Of your very own household. That he meant that literally. So you even had situations that families were being separated because of this. And sometimes that's tough. Even in a situation within, being a bishop, counseling a brother or a sister in a situation like that. And this was deep because when we counsel new members with the church and they are wondering whether they should stay with the significant other and things of that nature. And for the record, we promote marriage to stay together, if you could help us, things of that nature. But ultimately, what will happen if you get closer to Christ, Christ will clean your mess for you. Mm-hmm. So what will happen one day out the blue, your spouse like, I don't want to marry you anymore. We can't, we don't see the same things eye to eye. You could be doing everything you did as a spouse. If you're a sister, you could be doing everything as right. As a brother, you could be doing everything right. The Most High will separate those that they're not supposed to be among you. You just got to first seek the kingdom of heaven. And whatever will be, will be. So you don't have to worry about, elder, should I divorce? No, just seek the kingdom. The Most High will give you that understanding. Because that's why the scripture says that, how do you know that you will not save your spouse? You don't know. So just don't get caught up with that. If you understand? Well, it's like pre-analyzing the future. It's not working out, so I think we should start making preparation for the. No. endured. Christ endured. Because you never know what's going to happen, right? And things of that nature. Now, what that understanding is that the biggest problem that I have seen also marriage, but also when you young people that are with families. My mother's kicking me out. Well, what happened? Because if you're a good child, if you follow the scripture, honor your father and your mother should not be complaining about, this religion if she is getting benefit from this new religion. Yeah, my son says he became an Israelite. He's cleaning his room. He's washing the dishes. When I'm trying to take out the trash, he does it. So you're not doing those things, but you want to tell your mom, Christmas, that's wicked. You spend 12 hours a night listening to Elder Ricard, and the dishes is like up to a mountain, and you're like, right? Your clothes, your room is a mess, but you listen to Elder Ricard. It is not the hearers of the law, it is the doers of the law. So, and the scripture says, if you live under somebody's household, you're their servant. So when you're under your parents' homes, you're their servant. It doesn't matter how old you are. You just got to honor that. That's the way it is. So a lot of times it's us not applying the scriptures that's really the issue. But then it becomes a situation that they'll begin to blame the truth because of it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you always didn't wash the dishes. You always didn't clean your room. But now you're standing in 12 hours, dealing with all the lessons, breaking down. You got your precept book and everything. You get what I'm saying? You bought a pocket for all books, all kinds of books. Now she's like, okay. Now she got something to blame.
Right.
You just got
religion.
Yeah, is that damn religion? You got to get a job. You understand? So you got to. So a lot of it is self inflicted, right? And things of that nature. And same thing with spouse. You can't be in your husband's face and talking about I'm an Israelite, and then every night it's a fight, it's an argument. You understand what I'm saying? You can't talking about to your wife I'm an Israelite, but like let me get this herb. I'm going out Friday night with my boys.
Right.
You're defiling the name of the Most High. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Do not defile the name of the Most High by your actions. That's how you do it. You're an Israelite? Ahai Ba'Shem, you know all the Hebrew. Listen, that doesn't impress me anymore. That's like, okay, listen, that's all good. But you understand what you're saying? In the name of the Most High in Christ, in the Holy Spirit? You know what you're saying? Are you living up to that? I could understand the philosophy or the principle of the elders during the time of Babylon saying we should not say the Most High's name. Okay. And how, because we were defiled. Right. So it's like it was a wrong justifying another wrong. Because we were doing wrong, we were defiled, and we were in a strange land, and we were dealing with the custom of the Babylonians. The leaders said we should not vocate the Most High's name because we are too defiled, which is right. Matter of fact, to some degree, they were right to some degree, but their spirit was not in the right spirit. But you should not be saying the name of Ahia if you're not in the right spiritual place. If the people are not telling you, Dad, there's something wrong, something different about you, then you can say the name of Ahia. It's all praise to the Most High's name, Ahia. Then you're honoring that name. That's why you should respect that name. And when you're in the wrong situation or you even the appearance of evil, you should not be saying that name because you're disrespecting that name. Because then because of you're looking bad or you doing something bad, and you have the nerve to say that name. You understand? You should not be in the front of a camera, drinking wine and beer, high by Sean with these videos. That's where we go with his whole thing with the rappers. You should not be acting like the people in the world And just because you're calling a higher by Hashem Yeshaya, you acting like the people of the world, giving the name of the Most High a bad name, giving the name of Israel a bad name. Never mind GOCC, but what I'm saying is giving the whole concept of Israelites a bad name, right? All right. So let's keep reading.
And fear not, this is the book of Matthew chapter 10 verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
So Christ was giving the disciples a scenario. Listen, be careful, try the spirit. If they receive you, stay. If you don't, back away. But they're going to still deliver you. You're still going to get killed. Don't fear what's going to happen. Just don't worry about it. You're still going to die, though, some of you guys. You're still going to be delivered to the Sanhedrin. And they're going to scorn you. I'm going to give you advice and tips on how to avoid that, but that's still going to happen. So you just imagine what the disciples looking at you like, what, are you, this guy's crazy? Right? So I could imagine people like before they go into the villages shaking up, like, okay, stay cool. All right, you ready? I'm ready. Looking down, he said, don't say shalom to anybody. Or walking in, hello, shalom?
Right. Say like a question.
Yeah.
Shalom?
You're the man of the house? Hi, nice to meet you. What do you want? Are you one of those Christians? Maybe. Right? So I could imagine the disciples, the 70 were like, okay, we need. And that's why, and that's why Christ told his disciples when he was about to leave, get a sword. Because it was a period that between those I think 40 days or between the Passover and the Feast of First Fruits, Christ was no longer on the earth. And the Holy Spirit has not yet come. So that spirit of protection was not there. That's why they were all secret in a room. They were not because of the fear of the Jews. You see, they keep repeating that because they didn't have the edge. They didn't have the covering over them. So at that time, Christ, it's like the Most High is like a dramatic power. He's like it's like a movie. You understand? I'm gonna help you, but it's gonna be to the skin of your teeth. Some of you are gonna still die. Don't worry about it. But because I think what it is, the Most High, the way we have to look at it is more that He is more concerned about the work being done than necessarily, I won't say us, but the work must continue. And some of us may pay the ultimate sacrifice. But you have to be in a mindset that I'm going to give you tips to navigate through these times of darkness. But that is also a test to see where's your faith is at. If some of you guys may die or go through these hardships. But it's not about us. It's about the work being done. See, nothing can stop an idea because an idea is bulletproof. Once you have a concept and the people say, I want to take this concept going forward, we're going to teach it and going forward. We have the concept. It doesn't matter whether you kill the leader or you kill 10. Loans, one of them has survived. They just duplicate themselves. It's an idea. It's bulletproof. You can't stop it. You can't. It's not one place that you could say, okay, we attack these people, everything would collapse. That is the way they've been operating with organization. When you look at all organizations, they always attack the leadership. The Black Panther Party, who they attack? The leadership. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, the leadership. But if the people from the organization understood that the leadership is only a figurehead, but the idea is going to go forward. That's why at this point I'm looking into more curating leaders. So if I die, if I get cut off, somebody else will take my place. If somebody else dies, somebody else will take his place, so forth, so on. It's an idea, it's unstoppable. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the idea we have to have. And within that process, things are going to happen. There's going to be things because we are now being separated from the world. So there's going to be divisions and problems. We are our new family, and that's the mindset that we to have. Believe it or not, we have to, in righteousness, be a righteous cult. If you get what I'm saying. We have to be separate. We're going to be having the similitude of a cult, because cult, they use mind control to divide you from your family. You know, they have different things like they don't put any windows in churches, in their churches. It's a thing with windows. No and things. Say again? No clocks. The guy who put together the Jehovah's Witnesses and things of that nature, he was a psychologist. He was like a mind manipulator. And these churches, they use these mind manipulating techniques to try to control the people and things of that nature. But the way we're going to be operating, right? So let me go back. So they use these mind control tricks to what separate you from your people, from your family, right? And things of that nature, from your friends. The way we're not using any tricks. We're just using the scriptures. And the scripture itself will separate you from your people. That's the difference. You understand? We're not looking, there's no, prophet that is in some hill somewhere. We are not dealing with any, things like that, because usually these calls are usually have a, it was revealed to us that high priest regards Christ. He's John the Baptist, and I'm David or something. Right? When you look into these calls, they have that, that guy or, things of that nature. We're not going to be operating like that, because what's going to be leading us is the idea. That's what is our driving force. Whether if it's supposed to be, if all of us right now die and only 2 of us survive, those 2 continue that work and just duplicate themselves. Is the idea? It's not unstoppable. So becoming situations, people are going to be like, we can't stop these people. Doesn't matter what happened to them. We will blackmail their leaders. We will bring negative propaganda. We'll bring Poe and Crow agents in there, women, men, right? But somehow they overcome that. And it doesn't matter. It's the idea. You just continue. It continues. So that's the mindset we have to have. And I truly believe that the way we apply this, and we apply this properly, the fruits of the Spirit is going to be seen. Because sometimes we look at certain things as certain Christians organization may have, and they be inspired by the scriptures. They just implying it for their satanic doctrine. But we should have been applying this 2 by 2 concept for years now, because it was in the scriptures. So we did the whole street preaching thing, okay, because it was, the whole Israelite culture thing. But if that's really what the Christ told us to do, and think about it. Look at the signs of the Methodists, because the Jehovah's Witnesses, this is the only method they use for promotion. They don't do commercials. You don't hear of them and things of that nature. And there's 8 million strong. So maybe they're doing something right, because they're using the principle that was established by Christ. And we're not. Because let's think about it for a minute. How many of us here have come through the body through us street preaching? I prove my point. Yeah, brother. Yes. Right. Yes. It's a science. But wait a minute. Wasn't that Christ when he went to the secret place and training his disciples? Isn't that his orientation? When you go to a city, do this, don't do this, avoid that. Are we missing something, ladies and gentlemen? So we have to mimic and look at these scriptures thoroughly over and over again to see, are we missing something? Is there something lacking with our ministry? You understand? Yeah, brother.
drama, there's no story.
Right.
If he allows us to all be gathered together and just to be cut off in the first chapter, there's no book.
Right. Exactly.
Splits us up into 2 by 2 to continue his work.
Exactly. And we are all in one. Imagine if the 70s where we're in one corner. The Romans could just get them and kill them all 70. And think about it. Like I said, we mentioned the 120 in Acts, but that could have been within the 70. There was just simply their children and their parents or what have you, their loved ones. So it could have been that group. So he said, separate yourself. 2 by 2. So is it something that we're missing in the ministry? I think it is. It is all, we do want to go pray to the Most High and to the Most High in Christ that the congregation in New Jersey, it's like, what, we got to apply this. This is missing. So we have to start looking into, are we mimicking the spirit of the first century church that was established by Christ? We just read it. We just read the orientation that Christ gave the disciples. Was it 3 hours he gave, I don't know how long, but, right? We should establish that, right? And then after that, he sent the 70. You understand? And I think there's a lot of spirituality in these numbers. Why 70? Why 12? Why he set that up first? And things of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? So when we may start applying that, okay, we go to a city, we're going to go 12 men, go up there and set up that up. Then after that, once you train, you go to, up to 70, we go to another city and keep doing the work. And that's how we have to operate. And you could grow, and see what people understand, that one of the most effective way of promotion is face-to-face interaction. It was the most effective way of promotion. And when you hear different corporations, they are huge in numbers and things of that nature. Or what you hear, pyramid corporations. You bring one member, and then you get X amount of situation. I should be involved with those, and then that member will bring another member, and they'll get paid, and a pyramid scheme. Where do you think they got that from? And it's all word of mouth. No commercials, no fancy billboards. So you could build an empire. This is deep. You could build an empire within another empire under the radar. No commercials. Shh. So see, we are misunderstanding the approach. Maybe that's what it is. That's what Christ is looking to do. So now we're looking into, we have to pump videos in YouTube. Because most of us has come together through what? YouTube. So a video as a car. I was checking out this on the cab, and I like other records, so I called it. It's a good method, don't get me wrong, because you're teaching the gospel in people's homes, and I guess the spirit of being received is real simple. They just turn you off. They don't receive you. You understand? I like this guy. Let me go to somebody else. But if they receive you, then you get what I'm saying? So I'm not knocking that. But I think we're misunderstanding. We have to maybe look into how Christ established his church, and maybe there's some hidden gems there that we are not missing. Don't throw your pearls before swine. Let's look at that, right? If everything is word of mouth and everything is about worthiness, you got to check the person out. And then you teach the discipline, the gospel, the doctrine, right? But when you online, and you throwing your pearls before swine, it's an open market. And what do we see? What is the result of that? GLC exposed. What else? A higher group. Splinter groups. GLC Jordan. Because why? We are not establishing this principle. So, we have to look at that, because I'm looking at this even on a higher spiritual level, that we should maybe get out of YouTube and establish this particular approach of gaining souls, and nobody noticing of us. And then there'll be a situation that, what happened to GOCC? I don't see much videos. Oh, that group. And we're like 10 million strong because we're applying this, but nobody knows about it because it's face-to-face marketing, righteous marketing, as Christ established it.
Yeah, Elder.
Yeah.
Even in the first century, you had that guy Bar Jesus, who
Right.
was acting like just like these splinter groups. For
Right,
GSCC.
exactly.
You had people trying to claim they was Christ.
Right, so even exactly, they came out of us, but they're not of us. So he was split in groups even back then. And there's a reason why is because you cannot give this away to anybody. The Bible is a weapon. The knowledge in the Bible is a weapon. So we have to look at that maybe the YouTube thing and putting every single thing on YouTube, every lesson, maybe it's not, and that's why Elder Ricard, he was very careful in regards of the secret of the times. He didn't do that openly. You understand? It was only send an email, we'll send it to you. So we have to start looking into that, and it will be a situation that soon it will be, what happened to that group? We out of here. You understand what I'm saying? We're somewhere else. We're plotting. We have a system, but it's not out there. You understand? So I'm not saying that the YouTube thing is not a good tool, or using the internet is not a good tool, which it is, but we have to start applying the gospel as Christ established it. And every congregation has to look at where the fruit is coming from. If the majority of the congregation is getting their membership, meaning their fruits, aka their fruits, from Elder Ricard, what are we doing wrong? How long have we been in New York established? Wow. And we could count on our hands on the people that we got through the street preaching ministry. You know, we did a little thing with the Kemet situation. We got people coming in from that. We got some people coming in, you know. But we have to examine that. We have to examine that. That maybe we're doing something wrong because we're not applying the right proper steps and things of that nature. Because a lot of people, you think that the whole Israelite culture is known already among everybody. Once we apply this successfully and we do this, you're going to see that a lot of people are going to be like, I never heard of this before. Like Deuteronomy 28 and 68 and the curses and all that. They're like, I never read that before. And we assume that people, because of the street preaching situation, and let me just say this also, right? This is something that, you know, the street preaching. Many of the Israelite camps are known to go where? Manhattan, Times Square, Manhattan, 14th Street, this and that. That's not in the way of in the way of the Israel. That's the Gentile areas. So who's really getting the gospel? And usually, yeah, you get a crowd, but you get dudes from Russia who's visiting, and you get people that, some Arabs, my friend, Allah, and they're going back to their country. Then you know, they're gonna, this crazy man was talking about. You got to go to the highways and byways, the projects, the housing, you know, where our people are at. And you have to start talking to them. Hey, brother, can I talk to you for a minute? You understand? So we have to start changing our approach. And this is all the Most High, because it's every single time the Most High is giving us a little something. And it's funny because it could be right in our faces all the time, and we just bypass it. Oh, wow. Who knew? It's like the whole thing with the Enoch calendar. I remember in Jubilee, I had that whole thing highlighted. And I don't even remember why I even highlighted it. I was like, I know I read this because I highlighted it. Did you highlight this? No, it must have been me then. It was, you know, so it's that's why you could always get more out of the scriptures, right? Let's keep reading.
This is back to Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Come on.
Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
So why he was saying this? Because he was preparing them from hard times. Now, that may not apply right now in America, okay? But it may apply perhaps in other countries. It may apply in other, when the political structure changes, different laws go down the pipe, right? So it may be that seriously. That right now, the only thing we have to be concerned about or scared about is, well, I don't know how to talk to people. I'm shy. But in the future, it may be a situation that's going to be the least of your problem. You may get killed or arrested. Yeah, that's GOCC. That's one of them. Get them. Call security. Security. Call the cops. This martial law, we have new, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We have to make, terrorists, you link to terrorists. We're going to ask you some questions, right? That may happen. So we have to start preparing now, right? Read.
Verse 30. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear ye not, therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows.
You see that? So it's the idea. Don't worry about dying. Keep trucking forward. Don't worry about individual issues. That's why we as a body, we have to resolve our issues and we have to learn how to forgive. It's a major thing it's amazing, that little thing where you think it's so insignificant. It's not. You got to learn how to forgive. You got to make sure you're not a stumbling block into your brothers. You have to make sure that we're dealing with love and peace. We have to make sure we get to know each other. People have different personality. This is quiet. This person is quiet. This person is talkative. This person is loud. This person is quiet. We have different We have to learn each other. We have to discipline and remove our negative behaviors. There may be a stumbling block to brothers. You understand what I'm saying? You're always a talker, always a mouth. Baby, calm down. Check that. Discipline yourself. If you're not expressive because you're shy, you got to, put yourself there. Like, who went out street for the first time a few weeks ago? Who's the brothers here? 1, 2, but after they grabbed the mic and talked. Hell, I'm not ready. There you are. You're going up for a half hour. Right? You got to do it. And it is dealing with, it's the same thing that Christ was doing. Because he was preparing them, and I'm pretty sure the disciples, these people were not well-eloquent men and well-educated men. They probably were roughnecks, fishermen. They were like, they probably, the first time they probably were sweating and nervous. Same thing with us. We have to go, it's just growing pains. Learning from your mistakes, and then every individual person is going to have a style, how do they approach and things of that nature. We have to then also deal with, adjusting because we're going to be training, right? First, the leadership. The leadership is going to be training the person, and then eventually you may be in a situation that you're going to be a steward of, that particular field, or sisters and things of that nature. Okay, sister, this sister, you're going to go out with this sister for a few weeks. She's going to kind of show you how to do it. You're going to learn, take some notes. Brother, you're going to go with this brother. You're going to take some notes. Right? And then once you get comfortable, and then he said, yeah, he's ready to go. He understands this is discipline. That he could go out there and teach somebody else. It's just what? Duplicating yourself. And that system has been applied to multi-corporations. And it's been successful. And they're using the same principle that Christ established. But he is doing it for wickedness. It's the knowledge of what? Good and evil. Huh? Or an athlete and things of that nature. But they're meeting us secretly in the same way as Christ met his disciples. Like Nicodemus, he came to Christ by what? By night. Because he couldn't be being seen by the day. But he helped them. And matter of fact, it was not Josephus. What's the Jew? Is it Josephus? Not Josephus. Not Philo. The high priest saw Christ by night. John 3. Nicodemus.
Nicodemus, yeah.
It was through Nicodemus, through him, when you read the testimony of Nicodemus, it was through him being within the Sanhedrin and negotiating. Well, do we condemn a man before we hear him? And what did the Sanhedrin was telling him? Are you a disciple of Christ? He was. He didn't divulge that information, but he was helping Christ secretly. So through his work, prolonged Christ's ministry, because the Jews, the Sanhedrin, still had to go and work under the confine of what? The law of the land. Remember, we can't take them by day, because if we take them by day and the Sabbath day, people will rise up. So they had to still maneuver. And I could imagine it could have probably been Nicodemus. That probably we shouldn't take him now, and he probably was sweating bricks. He was a double agent. That's what he was. Well, I think we should do it this way because just to prolong, because he understood that Christ had to be, you understand, given up and all that. He was an apostle of Christ. When you look into his testimony, he understood that. But he worked his position. You understand? In this field, we have to look at and model ourselves as the first century church. Right? Let's end that.
Let's sit on that.
Okay. So reward is dealing with those that even help you out. Even as small as a water, they'll get the reward, for because of you doing the work. Okay? All right. So any other questions on that? How are we going to be moving forward? Yes, sister. Yes. 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 Well, they got that from us because we got that. We started that. Well, in the scripture it says, "Do not take the Lord, the Lord name in vain." Right? The word "vain" could also be translated as vanity. Right? Do not use the Lord's name for vanity. Vain. Right? And there's other scriptures talks about do not defile his name and things of that nature because my name is, I have put my name on you. So it's the way you act, the way you conduct yourself, and things of that nature. Now, if you have that principle and you understand that, then we as elders of the church, we don't have to create a scenario to, okay, you could say here, but you cannot say here. Because the person themselves will conduct themselves properly. So let's just say you are an artist, but you are conducting yourself with honor and respect in things of that nature. Then yes, you're saying it. You get what I'm saying? So it's not, you're right, you should not use it commonly in things of that nature because we're common ourselves. So it's the same principle as for new people to come in. And I tell them, when you first come into this body, don't tell your family you're an Israelite. Right? First start doing changing within yourself. So the same thing should apply with the Most High's name. You should not come home with a big plaque of the Most High's name. But your life is a mess. You get what I'm saying? Because you followed his name. You understand? So that should be another challenge. Don't mention the Most High's name until people see the Most High's name in you. You change. Oh, praise to the Most High Ahaya. Who's that? Because now you got them. Now they're giving you respect because you're coming into the respect of Yeshua Allah and the authority of Yeshua Allah. So it's a whole thing apply, and you are right, but I want us to understand the spirit of these laws. Because once we don't understand the spirit, and I could see the frustration of the leadership because we're the shepherds, so then we want for you guys to get it, so we start creating different laws. Okay, you can't say this, you can't say that, because we are like overseers. We're trying to protect. You understand? And that's how these laws come about. I could see why the Talmud were created. I could see why okay, you can't do it here, you can't do it that, and things of that nature. Because the congregation didn't get it. The people didn't get it. So we have to kind of create laws for them to get it. You get what I'm saying? So it's more like we all adults here. We all understand what it means to be respected, honorable, righteous people. We all understand what that is. To do right is present, is will, but I see another members in my mind, warring with the members of my mind. So we know what to do, is how to execute that. Now that comes from different perspectives, like for sake of argument, education background, neighborhood that you grew up with. So my struggle in regards of getting there may be different from you. You get what I'm saying? In the same way as a struggle that a 20-year-old black male is different from a 57-year-old sister. It's a different struggle. So his adjustment is he has to break the negative stereotype of what? He's a young black man, or all black men are thugs, evil or a criminal, right? That struggle does not, a sister who's older does not have to go to that particular struggle, right? But these both groups are trying to get to the same place. So what the young man probably has to probably do is different to get there. Okay, what's the negative stereotype? And let's say that brother is a performer, is a rapper, and things of that nature. And then sometimes we got brothers that struggle with that. Okay, elder, I want to bring the word, but I want to also just rap about, things in the world, because I want to just throw in the truth a little bit in there. You hear that a lot. So you see certain rappers, certain brothers, they want to do the truth. They'll rap regular rap, but then they'll throw a little root, things of that nature. That sometimes doesn't work. Why? Because, and this is where the elders come in, because we have experience. You understand? And that's why it's not one size fits all, because everything is different. So the elders could give you advice. Well, brother, I think you should do it this way, you should do it that way. And that's where you come to the contact with the elders. But I think what happened with our elders, we get tired and lazy, and then we just create a rule across the board to fix the problem. All right, just do this, and just leave me alone. So I could see, you get what I'm saying, where these extra commentary, these Talmud rules came about. Because Moses was probably just getting day after that. Even his father-in-law told him, listen, if you continue, you're going to have a short life. You're going to be stressed out. You got to divide get judges and put them in cities and let them deal with certain smaller things. I could imagine Moses was up every night hearing things. Listen, I got to eat. It's like, eat, judge. Eat, judge, sleep, get up, judge, eat. That's all he did. His wife was probably pissed off. He was like, we're going to spend some time? I'm just saying.
She got mad at him, remember?
Right. You understand? So I could understand why we have there's certain rules that we have to put forth. Like we have a rule. When you're going to marry someone, you have to first go to the elder and say, I'm looking to call this sister. There has to be marriage counselor. Are you going to find that in the scripture, that law? No. But we understand as elders, we put together certain penal codes in the body to protect you from yourself, because that evil is still present. So if you are in the sister's house going over scriptures and this and that, things may happen and things of that nature. And you have to always look at as that you're connecting to everybody. Let's say a brother or sister meets and they're attracted to one another. Okay, the first thing you have to say, okay, we have to make this known, because we have to, if the congregation does not know, there will be the temptation for us to sneak away and start talking and put ourselves in the wrong position. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument, okay, we got the attraction part there. But there's other variables in regards to marriages. There's personality, desires and wants in life, and things of that nature. He doesn't want any kids, but she wants a lot of kids. Things happen. Things get discussed outside of physical attraction that you may not know of this person. I didn't know this guy was like, he needed coffee every morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. He's not going to tell you that. You get what I'm saying? But you're there reading scripture. Hey, look into each other's eyes. And things happen. Now you got to find out about the coffee, and he doesn't want any kids. But it's too late now. Right? And usually, people that are in Google eyes, they'll be lying. It's like you don't get them, you get their representative. Everything is like, I don't mind. Okay, maybe. Whatever you want. They can even think straight. They can even have a normal conversation about what they want. Because they're so, fabricated with one another, right? So all these things, you have to protect yourself. So we as elders, we have experienced these things. So we create a rule to protect yourself from yourself. You get it? So these are the things kind of emerge in things of that nature. And usually what usually happen is that the danger of that is that then we create those laws and put those laws or those penal codes, like you got to advance, you got to let the elders know before you want to marry someone. You have to go to marriage counsel, things of that nature, as divine law. These laws is there to protect the divine law, but they're not divine. Because they may be changed. Instead of saying, okay, waiting for 3 months, let's put 6 months. Those things change depending on the circumstance and things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying? It's like the problem? The law, the divine law, do not defile the name of the Most High. Period. Okay, congregation, how do we do that? So through experience and scenarios, we create different penal codes to protect ourselves from that situation. Those things are not divine, but they're inspired by the divine. So it may change due to circumstance. You get what I'm saying? But you are right and things of that nature. And usually there may be a situation that's why there's leadership, that one brother may believe that this is not defiling the Most High's name, but the elders believe it is. You got to go with the elder. Because then after that, it's confusion. So you get what I'm saying? So that's how it operates. That's why it is established that way. So yes, we don't like, for instance, we had a meeting with the brothers that they are rapping and things of that nature. There's certain image that you should not have in front of the camera when you're teaching the word or you're rapping. You should not have a bottle in your hand. You should not have a tank top in your hand. Try to get more creative with your videos and things of that nature. Try to have more, inspiring things of that nature. Or, try to get more creative and maybe throw a story. Don't just have the same one dude and 550 dudes behind him. Because that's the imperials of what? Of evil. Every rapper does that in the ghetto, in the hood. You understand? Now, I understand the philosophy, well, elder, you want to gain the people, you want to talk their language. All that is all of that is talkable, and we could have this discussion. But ultimately, if the elders want to go a certain way, you got to honor the elders. And that's how a society and a government works. When there's, experiencing people, and people are going to the experienced people asking their advice. And one of the biggest problems with this church is the lack of strong leadership. The church is growing so big, we don't have enough leadership. Like Elder Ricard mentioned about Ohio. Ohio, there's right now almost close to 100 people. And we are training a deacon now. You understand? So I want you to understand the problem we have. That's why we have to be patient with us. That's why Elder Ricard made the announcement that everybody in Ohio should work together. It's going to be the first feast that's going to be unorganized. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be all kinds of mayhem because we're trying to put them together. But if everybody's spirit is in the right place, it will work out. You know, and then we always have a story with every feast day, right? The first feast day, this happened, that happened. Now we got like a little better, and things are happening, and it's more organized, and things. We have a routine to things, and things run much smoother. The first Passover I had in New York, oh my God, I literally only slept 3 hours in 3 days. I think I slept that Friday night. I think I slept 2 hours. The Saturday, I think I would say 5 hours. You know, that I was just mooting with brothers. You know, certain brothers came with certain dress, certain way. Like, brother, what you wearing? Babe, give me some coffee. Where the cars? Where's my wallet? But now, you know, the routine, I got more help. You know, it's like anything else. It's like anything else, right? So is the idea that we have to protect of GOCC. You know, we believe that the Gathering of Christ Church is not perfect, but I believe we are the beacon of light when it comes to the Israelite community. And I'm not afraid to say that. I love my brothers and all that, but I think we are the most progressive Israelites. We are the most humble Israelites out there, and we have to promote that and things of that nature. And it's funny, like Deacon Iverson was saying that, well, matter of fact, you could tell the story about the brothers, they saw you street preaching, and they said, oh, yeah, I like you guys. Last night you was cursing people out, but it was like another group where you could tell the story.
Now, we was out street preaching on last Sunday, and I was out there talking or whatever, and then some brother came up to me and was like, yo, I love y'all brothers, man. Y'all was down there on 40 Deuce cursing out Edomites and this, that, and the third. And he's like, man, y'all go hard, man. And he was like, y'all was wearing black that time, though. And I was like, nah, those are our brothers, man. But, you know what I'm saying, we separate, we a different group and all that. So
Right.
It's just funny how people associate, you know what I mean?
You understand? So we have to look at all of that. We have to look at our approach and all of that because that's why we have to change our approach. We have to even the main having signs in the floor and all that. We have to look at all of that because people typecast things very quickly in their mind, and they'll dismiss it as this. So they could walk around you real quick, but because they saw similar things, they saw the slave ship with one camp, and they saw the slave ship with our camp. They just generalize and they don't even pay attention to it. They just black it off, like, oh, those. And we could be talking about a scripture or something they need or in their life that could be beneficial to them, but they will dismiss it because they already typecast it as something negative. Yeah, brother Deacon. Right. 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 Absolutely. So I just want to touch one more thing and we'll be done in regards of, because I was asked this question. Okay. In regards to Sabbath, because there was a question asked to me that can we do a wedding on the Sabbath day? Right? And then I was like, oh, that's a good question. Let me look at the scriptures. All right, so, and I always like to, reintroduce these questions because there may be new people coming in, and we have to kind of go into the understanding. Now, let's go into Leviticus chapter 23. Okay, to get an understanding, we're going to go to also Jubilee. Jeremiah. Okay. So let's go to Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1.
It's the book of Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts.
Okay, so the subject matter, remember, every time you want to get a full understanding of a subject matter, you always go to the introductions. So the conversation that the Most High is having with Moses is, thank you, brother, is these are my feasts that you proclaim, right? And what was the first thing he said? What was the first feast that he declared? the Sabbath, showing you that the Sabbath is a weekly feast, right? It is a holy convocation. What's the word convocation means? Gathering, okay? Read.
Verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings.
You should do no work therein. Now, this always gets confused because people think that the no work is talking about literally no work, right? Now, let's use common sense. If it's a holy convocation, that means we have to get up and travel and get to point A to point B, right? So that if it's a holy convocation, we must come together. So that means has to be some traveling. So we got, at least we could travel. We got that part, unless we're going to be like, okay, we have to first come together we're going to all sleep in the synagogue Friday afternoon. So when we wake up in the morning, we're already here, but we don't travel. That's not, it's a holy convocation. And that was the case, the Most High will say that. Stay in the temple for 24 hours, so you don't have to travel. He will say that. He's very thorough with his laws, right? So we have to travel. Read.
These are feasts of the Lord, of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
Now, these are the feasts that you would proclaim in your seasons. So this is the first one was the weekly feast, and then the second, the other feasts are your feasts that you do throughout the year, right? So we all know those. So I just want to just touch on that to get the understanding. Let's go to Jubilee. Jubilee, the 50th chapter. And those who don't have a Jubilee, get it, because it's part of your scrolls. It's part of your Bible. You have an incomplete Bible if you don't have the book of Jubilee. It's called the Little Genesis, chapter 50. Not yet. Yeah. And we're going to start at verse 6.
It's the book of Jubilees, chapter 50, verse 6. And behold, the commandment regarding the Sabbaths, I have written them down for thee, and all the judgments of his laws. 6 days wilt thou labor, but on the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High your power. In it ye shall do no manner of work, ye and your sons, and your men servants and your maid servants, and all your cattle, and the sojourner also who is with you.
The no matter of work is going to be defined what it is. Read.
And the man that does any work on it shall die.
Shall die. Read.
Whoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his wife,
Whoever lies with his wife, have relationship with his spouse. Read.
or whoever says he will do something on it.
He will do something on it. Now, clearly it's not talking about doing the holy convocation, but it's doing outside of that. Right? Read.
That he will set out on a journey thereon in regard to any buying or selling.
Any buying or selling. I got to go to the store today because today's the last deal for, the last sale. Right? Read.
And whoever draws water thereon, which he had not prepared.
He's not prepared, meaning drawing water, because at that time you have to draw water to get water. Now we don't have to do that. We could just open up a faucet. Right? Read.
For himself on the sixth day.
Come on.
And whoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent.
Any burden out of his house. Throwing out the trash before you go to Shabbat, you just broke the Sabbath. Mailing a mail, you just broke the Sabbath. Any things you have to, what's that word I'm looking for? Any personal thing that you do. Let me just throw the clothes in the cleaners before I go. No, broke the Sabbath. You got 6 days for that, right? Read.
Or out of his house shall die.
Out of the house shall die. Read.
Ye shall do no work, whatever on the Sabbath day, save what ye have prepared for yourselves on the sixth day.
What does the word save means? Except. So this is what you are allowed to do. Whatever. Read.
So as to eat.
So whatever you prepare the night before. So on the Shabbat, you only will eat what you have prepared. So you are not allowed to cook from scratch on the Sabbath. Everything has to be ready prepared. So it is the best way to describe it is leftovers, if you get what I'm saying. You already prepare, you set that aside, you put it in the fridge, and things of that nature. You could just warm it up and then eat it. It's already prepared. You're not allowed to be chopping onions and seasoning. That you got 6 days for that. You just prepare. So you're on the Shabbat. Macaroni and cheese are very easy. You know, tuna what was that? Pasta and macaroni.
Yeah.
Put in the fruit, eat that bad boy. You understand what I'm saying? The
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches, things of that nature. Okay, try to prepare. Just hold your thought 2 seconds. Read.
So as to eat and drink and rest and keep Sabbath from all work on that day, and to bless the Most High your power, who has given you a day of festival and a holy day.
So you're allowed to be in the kitchen, but you're not allowed to start stuff from scratch. Everything has to be already prepared, and you already just taken out the fridge. It's already prepared. So you working that's what that's what you're allowed to do, except what you have prepared the night before. Right? Read.
And a day of the holy kingdom for all Israel is this day among their days forever.
Come on.
For great is the honor which the Most High has given to Israel, that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this festival
So
day.
you're eating and drinking. So if you're eating, you're warming up stuff, you're cooking stuff, but it's already been prepared. It's been seasoned. All that is already done. Everything is, is ready to be eaten. Read. You're just warming it up. Read.
And rest thereon from all labor which belongs to the labor of the children of men.
Now, back in the days, the way we used to do it is we'll season everything. We'll put it, and then we'll keep a fire overnight. So then when we will go, everything's already seasoned. So when sisters are waking up, they just cook it. Everything is within the household. So you're not going outside to the market to get some season and oregano, and that's already been pre-prepared. Because you're just allowed to just do that, which has been pre-prepared, right? Read.
Save burning frankincense.
You're allowed to burn frankincense. Save except burning frankincense. Showing you could take frankincense and put it in a fire. The kindling is taking a rock or those, because that's how we used to, that takes work. The fire has to be already lit. But you could translate fire from one place to another. Because if you take frankincense and you light a frankincense, you are translating fire from one place to another place. But you're not kindling the fire. You get what I'm saying? All right. Read.
And bringing oblations and sacrifices before the Most High for days and for Sabbaths.
And bringing oblations. Get the definition of oblation and sacrifice. So that going showing you could bring those oblation out your house. So if you're gonna give the priest a big jar of frankincense and myrrh. That's your oblation. You're gonna your lamb, your sheep. Then you're gonna sacrifice it, give it to donation, right? You could bring this out your house, but leave that trash there, leave the mail there. Those things are personal use. Have to deal with you. These things have to do with the Most High, the things that you present to the Most High. So let's keep reading. Let's get the definition of oblation.
This is the definition of oblation from the dictionary. A thing presented or offered to God or a power.
That's it? That's it. Okay. So right now we don't present anything to, we don't present sacrifice, sheep, goat, lamb, whatever, and things of that nature. So what we should bring out, what you are allowed to bring out your house today? Give an example. If there's no goat, no sheep, what are you allowed to bring? Offering money, what else? Your scriptures, because you're going to get understanding, right? Because now if you bring the scriptures, you get understanding, you'll be able to receive the word, right? And then now you'll be able to equip yourself to teach the word. So that's your due service. You get what I'm saying? So anything that has to deal with the word. But also food. We're having a feast day. Your oblations, that's what you're presenting for the feast days. But if you take some food and take it to your grandmother or your sister down the block, okay, that's personal. Now, but if she is in hunger It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. We're going to break it down. We're going to all through. For you guys to understand it. Let's keep reading.
This work alone shall be done on the Sabbath days in the sanctuary of the Most High your power.
So the sacrifice, right, is doing good on the Sabbath is also a sacrifice? Yes, because you're sacrificing something. What's the concept of that? You're giving something of value to someone. You're giving a homeless person a pair of shoes because he has no shoes. You're giving them something. It is honorable to do good on the Sabbath. It's good to do good. I mean, it's lawful to do good on the Sabbath, right? So you're giving something of yourself for someone else, right? You're sacrificing. Now, if it's the same, I always use this scenario. If you see a homeless person, he has no shoes, you go to Payless, buy him some shoes, right? But if you go to that same Payless and you buy the exact same shoes for yourself because you want to catch that special, you're breaking the Shabbat. Same action, different context. It's a spirit of the law, right? Okay, read.
That they may atone for Israel with sacrifice continually from day to day for a memorial well-pleasing before the Most High, and that he may receive them always from day to day according as thou hast been commanded. And every man who does any work thereon, or goes a journey, or tills his farm, whether in his house,
To till his farm, whether in his house, read.
or any other place,
So this is the no manner of work is being defined here for you to understand. Read.
and whoever lights a fire, or rides on any beast, or travels by ship on the sea, and whoever strikes or kills anything, or slaughters a beast or a bird.
Wait a minute. Don't we do sacrifice? It's for yourself. Animals are going to be killed on the Shabbat in the Old Testament because those are the sacrifices. What do you think we're eating? You understand? It's going dealing with your own personal situation. Read.
Or slaughters a beast or a bird, or whoever catches an animal, or a bird or a fish, or whoever fasts or makes war on the Sabbath, the man who does any of these things on the Sabbath shall die, so that the children of Israel shall observe the Sabbaths according to the commandments regarding the Sabbaths of the land, as it is written in the tables, which he gave into my hands, that I should write out for thee the laws of the seasons and the seasons according to the division of their days.
Okay. Go to Matthew's 12. So the original question was the wedding. Are you allowed to do a wedding on Sabbath? And the part when it says, and that the priests,
Right.
verse 5. Matter of fact, start at verse 3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 3. But he said unto them, have ye not read what David did when he was an hungered, and they that were with him? How he entered into the house of the Most High, and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests? Or have ye not read in the law, how that on the Sabbath days,
On the Sabbath days, read.
the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless?
And how, what they were doing to profane the Sabbath and blameless. What he was talking about here? Sacrifice, work. Because they are working on the Sabbath. You think that these feast days didn't take any work? You don't think these priests on the feast days were getting the temple ready? Were chopping up those swords to chop those lambs? Those lambs was, down the village. Make sure they don't run away. It was work, but it was not your work. It was the Most High's work. Right? And now we are a nation of priests. So when it comes to things within the feast days and things of that nature, but you got to pick up the speakers, you got to pick up the food, get the van, rent this and got to talk to Harry. That's all the same thing now. Because you're not doing your work, you're doing the work of the Lord. It's the same concept, right? Read.
Verse 6. But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy, and not sacrifice, ye would not have commanded the guiltless, condemned the guiltless. For the Son of Man is the Lord even of the Sabbath day.
So he's the teacher even on the Sabbath day. Jump down to 11.
Verse 11. And when he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay a hold on it and lift it out?
When you go into the community rooms of the Essenes, they were even worse than this. They say if a man drowning, you are not allowed to throw him a ladder. So the Essenes, they were good, but they came short. You're not allowed to do, you're not, so they didn't even understand it, because it is a day set aside for you to put aside your will and do his will. Your pleasure, do his pleasure. Keep reading. But he mentioned this because in the Talmud it has this, that there is three. I should have brought the Bible diction that was dealing with the Shabbat.
I got it.
I think the Sabbath day's journey, I think it talks about that. It was like 7 things you could do. I think you could save a life. And it mentioned the animal. If your animal falls in the ditch, you could save it. There's like certain things that the rabbinical Sanhedrins kind of put in, and that goes back to what I was saying, that they probably did something because a scenario came about that a sheep fell in a ditch, or maybe a rabbi's sheep fell in a ditch, and they're like, what should I do here in the law? And they started rationing, well, it's a life, and it's a nap. A lot of it because that was money, that was wealth. That's why Christ used that scenario. He said, "What's more is a man than an animal?" Right? Let's read.
How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days.
It is lawful. The word "well" means honorable. Read.
Then saith he to the men, Stretch forth thine hand, and he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole, like as the other.
I love that scene because he said a statement, "Get up." And he's looking at them. Right. Healed. broke away. Right. Shalom. Right. So he always was trying to teach the spirit of the law. Let's just go to I think it has Jeremiah. Okay.
Jeremiah 17.
So really, a wedding, it should be something that should be done. Not on a feast day or the Sabbath in particular, and things of that nature. I would say, okay, let's just say you want to do something let's say you want to do it on the sundown on the Shabbat. Like we'll get the festivity ready on the day before, because the decorations is not dealing with the Most High's feast day, right? Is dealing with somebody's wedding. So we'll do it like Thursday evening or whatever. So when people come in, we do the Shabbat, and then after the sun goes down, then we do the wedding. So these are things that if we just keep the spirit of the law, we could all figure things out without creating a law. Well, this is how you do it. You got to do it. You do the decoration before the sun goes down. Then you got to, you understand? And these are things that we wrote down because sometimes people were confused. And I can understand the logic behind that, or the brilliancy to some degree behind that, setting up a manual to deal with circumstances that go through life, but, that you need to still protect the law and be defended. You understand? I can understand that. But those things are not divine. And that was the problem that the Sanhedrin and the Pharisees, they would want to put the traditions of men in the same level as the laws of God. That's how, okay. So let's read it real quick.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 21. Thus saith the Most High, take heed to yourselves and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem.
Don't bring it in, right? So you're not supposed, that's why they should close the gate, right? Why did Christ told the disciples, woe will be for you if you take your flight on the Sabbath or on the winter? What's the understanding? It's spiritual, but it's also practical. Give me the breakdown. What did Romans did in the Sabbath in the winter? Okay. To protect the law of the Sabbath, we created another law that the gate of Israel in the city must be closed. You don't find it in the Torah, but that law was there to protect ourselves from divine law and to make sure nobody comes in and out, because there'll probably some nincompoops try to sneak in and get something real quick or whatever. One of the leaders found out and said, okay, close the gate, right? Now, in the winter, it snows. It does snow in Jerusalem. You got 4 seasons like America. Mm-hmm. So if it snows, right, then the gate is locked in. You cannot open the gate in an emergency. So the Romans got smart and say, we're going to wait in the winter, and because every Shabbat, they got to close the gate. So we're going to wait because it snows. So when the snow, it locks in the door. And we could then burn them in. So what they should do is they should throw in fire and start burning the houses or try to attack, with slingshots and all that. But they locked in. You understand? So that's why I say, woe if you plan to escape on the Sabbath and on the winter. And when you go in the book of Josephus, that's what the Romans were doing. But it's also, everything is twofold, because we look into also spiritually. That was maybe when certain things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's when is America's going to fall on the Sabbath in the winter, and then when you're trying to get out, you can't get out because all the flight is over. That's deep, and that's maybe why the government may do something on a day in which it's snowing, because most of the flights I remember a few years back that the city got shut down over snow. Last year, right? They couldn't do anything. These these snowstorms sometimes are bad. And now they got they got weather manipulation situation. So who knows? So that's what I'm saying. So it could be a twofold situation. But it's also historical, practical perspective, but it's also, it could be also prophetic, right? Which is of a practical situation. So you should maybe, look for that as a sign. All right, let's read.
Verse 22. Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day.
The trash, mail, anything that has to do with read.
Neither do any work, but hallow ye the Sabbath day as I commanded your fathers.
Right, read.
There
was another one. What chapter is it? If you call in the day a delight. 58.
Yes, Sabbath day, Isaiah.
Isaiah 58. Yeah. You got that? Okay, all right. You got it?
Yeah, just the book of Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
To doing your pleasure, your own personal. Yes, keeping the Sabbath is a pleasure to me as well. But doing your own pleasure. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to do this. I got to do that. Your own, turning your feet. If you turn your feet from doing that, read.
And call the Sabbath a delight.
And call the Sabbath a delight, read.
The holy of the Most High.
The holy of the Most High.
Honorable.
Honorable.
And shall honor him.
And shall honor who?
And honor him.
So that's the day you're supposed to honor him. So you can't do your own thing because, a wedding or a baby shower or this and that. And I get all these questions all the time. Elder, can I just go to a baby shower? Is it lawful? There's grace. I get all that. But maybe that's a component missing that, we're missing. Read.
Nor finding thine own pleasure.
Finding what?
Thine own pleasure.
So do your own pleasure, your own, let's go see a movie, let's go to the park, and I get always this crazy scenario. If I go to the park and just read the Bible with my kids, and it's always, brother, let's get to church. Get your butt to church. Just be here. Be safe here. Always this crazy scenario. Read.
nor speaking thine own words.
And I could imagine how our leaders will create laws about that too. You're allowed to go to the park, but your son is only allowed to go to the swing and not this, Yeah, you only could push him 3 times. After 3 times, you violate, And you read the Talmud, you have all these things. You're only allowed to fold papers twice. If you do it 3 times, you're working. They got all these scenarios and things of that nature. Right.
Also, Brother Kazari guy told me that they don't take showers or brush their teeth on the Sabbath. That's well too.
Right. They don't brush their teeth, So it becomes a thing. It becomes a thing. Right? Read.
Verse 14.
If you don't the Talmud is a manifestation of people not understanding the spirit of the law. That's the end result of that. All these rules that you don't even know why you're doing it. And the law and the spirit of the law, you're so far away from the spirit of the law. And that, you have to go through all these layers, right? Read.
Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High have spoken it.
Okay, so it's the spirit of the law. Let's try to, when you ask these questions, a lot of it you could answer yourself and things of that nature. Certain things within the body, the day of the Lord should be for him and things of that nature. So if it's a wedding, it could probably be done after the service, like the sun is going down and things of that nature. Okay, let's, or you could do it another day or what have you. But the Sabbath and even the feast day should be for the day for the Lord. And so we're looking into that because I know there's certain people want to get married on the tabernacle. We're going to be there for 4 days, so we could maybe do all the weddings, Monday or Sunday afternoon or Monday or whatever. We could, look into that. Okay. We could split, you could divide those, because it's 2 feasts back to back. You got the regular Sabbath feast, which we're going to have, and then we got the regular, and then we got the feast date of Tabernacle, which is 2 Sabbaths back to back. Okay. All right. So with that being said, any questions? Yes, brother. Deuteronomy 13, chapter 1. Chapter 15, verse 1? 13, verse 1, Deuteronomy. Just read it. All the way to 4, verse 4. 1 through 4. Okay.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13, verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he speak unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Most High your power proveth you, to know whether you love the Most High your power with all your heart and with all your soul. Ye shall...
So, read 4. Go ahead.
Ye shall walk after the Most High your power, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him and cleave unto him.
Okay. So if there's someone that prophesies a future event, and that future event comes true, a brother or sister comes up and said, I prophesied if everybody plays the lotto number, 7, 5, 8, no, whatever it is, and I got a dream, and that lotto number hits. Boom, we all rich, millionaire. Yes, and then the next week, that prophet or person will come out and say, well, I got this information from Krishna. And I'm looking into this book, the Krishna, third eye of Ra. We got to say, listen, brother. Security. So if anybody comes in and a prophecy does come true, and they are telling you to break away from the God of Israel and follow another God. Allah gave me this information. Krishna, Buddha, whatever. Satan, gave me this information. I was like, brother, listen, don't let the back door hit you. You got to go. Matter of fact, take this money because it came from Satan. I know certain brothers like, you have to? Yes. So that's what they're talking about. So there's two requirements in accepting a prophet. They have to never tell you to go against the commandments of God and worship other gods. And that prophecy must come true. Those are two requirements. Either if those two are not at hand, then we have to reject that person. Okay? So that answer your question? Yeah. And that's why it says that I the Lord, is going to prove you. The word prove is test you. So he's probably going to send some few false prophet. He's probably going to go and say, that brother, he's not acting right. Put a spirit in that brother, a false prophecy, or a prophecy, for this to happen, to test Israel. The Most High is a power that, he does crazy stuff like that. You see, they do the right thing. And this was Christ. This was Christ testing us, proving us. He was that rock of offense. He was that rock that we follow in the wilderness. Okay, so any other questions? Yes, brother. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. 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 The balance. Okay. Good question. That's a good question. Yeah. Go ahead. Right. 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 Yes. Right. A balance. Absolutely. Let me explain. No. It's not gonna be taken away. But let me explain. Okay. And this is why we have to examine everything. I understand that there is a certain attractiveness to having strong black men speaking truth to power. It's cool, it's sexy, it's powerful. I get that, right? But let's analyze something for a minute, right? Because through your fruits you will know them, right? The question is, the people that type of ministry bring in. You get what I'm saying? So, the question is, okay, if I come up with a strategy to target a certain demographic, because, you have, strategies of marketing and approach to attack different groups of demographics. If I'm looking to attack and bring in women, I'm going to go with a certain approach, right? I'm going to start creating a logo and a mission statement that's going to be attracted to women, right? If you get involved with something you see, you got these breast cancer organization, you got these women battering, women they get battered and things, and there's different awareness, and they package their organization to cater to that population. You have, what's that organization to stop the violence with the group in Harlem? They package their website and their the whole mission statement to target young black youth who are in risk and violence, right? It was a stop. Some, no, there's some. It's not stop. Is something. They're preventers, violence preventers. Or, right. But it's an organization that they're out there. They had. What you say again? 49 strong. Yeah, that's part of. But there's another. I forgot what they call it. But anyway, not them. Something about ceasefire. They have a thing that if they work with the police, and let's just say there was a shooting, and a guy got shot, and he's in the hospital. They will go to the hospital because they know that guy, he's thinking about what? Revenge. So they try to talk him out of it. The interrupters, that's it. The interrupters. They interrupt the cycle of violence because they know if you got shot and you're still alive, you want to shoot back. And it's a constant, revolving door, right? So they target that population. So I'm pretty sure there's different think tanks that strategize how to market to that population or anything else, right? So, and it's not that we're not going to be doing street preaching, but maybe our approach has to be martyred, copied, duplicated as what the scriptures stated. You get what I'm saying? So because maybe the people that we are attracting are not the people that we therefore are necessarily the elite to the elite. We could be attracting things because, yeah, I'm a marketing major. I know how to do marketing. I could marketing the head of something. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I do for a living. And I'll be able to bring people using my marketing skills, right? But it doesn't mean I'm going to get the people that, you get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean those are people that we should be looking for and things of that nature. So the people that perhaps that will be attracted to that type of situation are going to be certain demographics and things of that nature. And maybe perhaps because our approach is different and things of that nature, maybe that's because the street preaching has not been so successful. You know what I'm saying? Let me just finish my statement. So we have to analyze everything. And not to say we're going to take it out the way, the street preaching, because we're going to still use it, but the approach has to be different. So we could cater to both situations. We could have strong black men standing and speaking truth to power. We could have that. But the ultimate thing would be, so we could cater to the young black youth to say, wow, these guys know the scriptures like I never seen them before. Wow, these guys are talking truth to power. You know, I need a father figure because that's what attracted me. I was young, 20 years old. These strong black and Latino men speaking truth to power, these men were giants to me. So, yeah, that catered to me and things of that nature. But we have to cover all our situations. So when we have the brother who's there with the other brother speaking truth to power, and he could bring in that one 20-year-old kid, the other two brothers is talking to a sister. The other two brothers talking to somebody else that we could have probably missed. You get what I'm saying? So maybe we're only bringing in a certain demographic of people because we're only catering to a certain demographic of people. You get what I'm saying? We're only catering to the young population. So we have to create with different avenues to cater to the older population because they got fruits too. They got gifts that we probably losing out. And in the future, we may have to cater to Gentiles. That's why I for a long time, when the Gentiles are within the body, there's work for you to be done too, because you could go into areas that we cannot go in. So there's gifts and stuff that there's probably there that we are missing out because we are not catering to that population. It's all righteous marketing. That's what that is. You get what I'm saying? But if we just get stuck on catering one population, because the bottom line, a lot of the attraction comes with the street preaching is it looks cool. You have a mic, you're speaking, you got the Bible there, you're breaking down, you're shutting down all imagination. That's going to be attracted to a certain kind of population. You understand? And not to say you could not track any kind of different people, but we're going to start attacking different avenues. But the point I'm trying to make is whatever avenue we put, let's first start establishing what Christ told his disciples to do. We could find in the scriptures, go 2 by 2 in the city. We could find that. We can't find go stay in the corner and teach the word and things of that nature. You understand? Now, yes, he's just going to highways and byways and things of that nature. So let's do both and let's cater, but we can have all our ducks in a row if you get what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying. I'm just hold your peace there. I understand what you're saying. I just wanted to understand we need to look into the scriptures and see in every aspect if we're not missing something. And there's balance, right? Yeah, brother. Yes. Let's go there. Matthew 5, 5 and 14.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. Ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on an hill.
And also let me say this. I'm already predicting. I'm not a prophet, but I'm already predicting. Elder, I don't think house to house is my calling. I don't know. You have to start. Every successful institution starts with training, right? And then teaching, right? Shamar, right? And in the beginning, you're nervous. You fail the test. You go back, retake the test. You become good, and then you become a master of the teaching. So you have to first try it and things like everything else. And if you have the spirit of the Most High, you could do anything. And there's nothing, like I said, Christ says, listen, when you go, you're going to be taken to diplomats in the synagogues. You're going to be speaking to kings. Don't even write anything down. I got you. Well, although, I'm kind of shy. Listen, I rebuke you in the name. Rebuke that spirit. I'm not dealing with that weak spirit. I'm not dealing with that shy spirit. So you have to be, using layman's term, be a jack of all trades. You could do street preach. You could talk one-on-one. You could teach the word taxing. You could do all of that. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be a jack of all trades. That's when you become a master. That's when you become an apostle. All right? It's good. Let's get that real quick. Okay, I just want to any new thing that we do, there's always new problem that come occur. All right, so let's do it.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house.
Right, so, go ahead, brother. So you're saying, going back to that? Right. Right. That's deep. Yeah. He didn't say you are a humongous flashlight on your shoulders. You are like a candle that lights the house. So wherever you go, you haven't seen, it's like the saying, every time you come into the house, you brighten the house with your energy. I like you around. You lighten up the room. It's the same concept. Yeah, absolutely. That is not a humongous Batman single, right? And things. And I think sometimes we get caught up with the videos and things of that nature and things that and yeah, those are tools to use, but it should be people that know you in your neighborhood, your job, your family. People have that respect for you. And then they might not agree with you because they're sinners and they don't want to keep those commandments, what have you, but they will always have something to say good about you. You know, I'm not with that crazy religion, but you know what? He's a good brother. He helped me out last week, and every time I need him, he's always there. So you that light. Yeah, that's a good analogy, brother. That's a good analogy. Any other question? Yes, sister. Oh, the Sabbath journey. Right. Acts 1. Now, the term, the Sabbath journey, who can help me out with here? Who knows this? Sabbath journey. Deacon Charlize, no. All right. There was a rule within the elders of Israel to kind of say, how far can you travel in the Sabbath? Okay? And they say, well, we're going to call it a Sabbath day journey. Or that's what it became, I think, 2,000 feet or 2,000 kilometers. And that was, like, I think, a quarter of a mile. I think that's what it is. So let's just go there.
Elder, you want to get the definition too?
Yeah, let's get the definition. Because that term, you cannot find it. Well, you can find it once in the New Testament, but Moses does not cover it, or there's nothing in the other, like Jubilee, that deals with distance, how far you willing to travel on the Sabbath. There's no law on that. Now, and I think the reason why that is because there is not the distance, but the purpose. Because let's just say the synagogue is half a mile away. And you have to go there to present your sacrifice. You understand? So that law is not divine. It's not divine. And things of that nature. But that actually law was created to break the Sabbath. I'm going to tell you why. Because you look into the more details on it is that you could travel from house to house as long as you cover within that demographic of area. And they had a thing that if you leave a property in somebody's house, then temporary that also becomes your house, so you could go there on the Sabbath. These are all things that came from the rabbis. Let's get that real quick.
All right. You want me to get the scripture or the definition?
The definition first, then the scripture.
Okay. So it says, this is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary on the Sabbath day's journey. It says, a journey of limited extent which describes thought a Jew might travel on the Sabbath without breaking the law.
Not Moses, the scribes. Read.
Such a journey was 2,000 cubits or 3,000 feet from one's house or domicile, a distance derived from the statement found in Joshua 3 and 4 that there was to be that much distance between the ark and the people on their march.
Right, so when you read, it wasn't that when you read the story, I think Joshua, it wasn't that Joshua put that law there, no. But Joshua stated that when the Levites are with the ark, you got to tarry behind them, but you have to be within that distance, which is, I think, a quarter of a mile.
Right.
Or two, or you understand? So they took that and said, okay, that's how far you could travel. You understand? But that's not, they took that from that, derived from that. They say, okay, we have to pick a feet distance. Okay, let's pick that. You understand when you read it on your own. Okay, let's end that?
Yeah, you see that. Then the scriptures, Acts chapter 1, verse 12. Then returned they unto Jerusalem from the mount called Olivet, which is from Jerusalem, a Sabbath day's journey.
A Sabbath day's journey. Is not necessarily telling you that the Christians were following that law necessarily, but they were honoring that law due to the fact they were still in Israel. You understand? Because they didn't want to rock the boat. So that was the law of the Sanhedrin at that time. So they just gave you that understanding because it was that long. It was, you understand what I'm saying?
Plus, it's like also other like how with Ezra, how he would write the month in Babylonian.
Yes.
That was a terminology that everybody was familiar with. So
Right.
they say just to show the amount of distance. They're not going to say 3,000 cubits. They say about a Sabbath day journey.
Right. It's like giving a common term that people can understand. Right. Yeah, brother. Right. 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 You know. So, but that law was put together to try to inspire to keep the holy law of remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. So they just is a commentary or is a penal code to try to keep the holy law holy. You know, but then the problem was they made that just as important as that. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sister. Luke 3:23. Okay, let's go there. Luke 3:23. Okay.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 3, verse 23. And Yeshua himself began to be about 30 years of age, being, as was supposed, the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli.
Now you notice that in your Bible you should have columns when it says as supposed.
Parentheses.
Parentheses that was added back. Those when you anytime you see that or you see the word slanted, that means that was added by the translators. That was not part of the original translation. So Luke never wrote as supposed. It was the translator. They wrote that. Okay. So if you read it, if you remove that, just read it with you know.
And Yeshua himself began to be about 30 years of age, being the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli.
Right. That's why remember when the angels spoke to Joseph and says, "Thou son of David." It just means lineage of David. You know, that's what that means. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Any other question? Okay. We have people here for the first time. Please raise your hand. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got a lot.